Hello, thanks for joining us. This is Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguela. Let's remind you that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website. It's nta.ng/live and all other of our social media platforms displayed on the screen right now. We begin with FEC. The Federal Executive Council this Wednesday received the report on the first quarter gross domestic product status from the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning. Now, this was at the Council's meeting held at Presidential Villa in Abuja. And we hear from the State House correspondent Jide Onifade that Vice President Professor Yemi Oshibajo chaired the meeting. But we'll bring you the full package in our subsequent bulletin. The federal government has reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to deliver a world-class first-ever global conference on tourism, culture and the creative industry scheduled for November this year. President Muhammadu Buhari, who gave the assurance while visiting the headquarters of the United Nations World Tourism Organization in Madrid, said Nigeria has enormous wonders to reveal to the world at the conference. Let's hear the details from State House correspondent Adam Sambo.
President Muhammadu Buhari is the first Nigerian leader to visit the headquarters of the United Nations World Tourism Organization in the Kingdom of Spain since the country joined the organization in 1975. He is here to formally appreciate the UN organ for granting Nigeria the hosting right of the first ever global conference on tourism, culture and creative industry.
This is further proof of Nigeria's support of the vision of the organization and also an affirmation of the confidence reposed in our country by your organization. The event provides yet another opportunity for Nigeria to showcase its tourism and creative industry.
And apart from the nation's wonders to be revealed that are not yet so well known to the world, President Buhari said the conference will also be utilized effectively towards extending the country's warm hospitality as well as introduce its leisure and business sectors to potential investors.
I want to assure you that Nigeria is ready to deliver our world-class conference this November, and we assure all participants from within and outside the country of a safe and secure environment as well as excellent facilities. I look forward to stronger and more mutually rewarding relationship between Nigeria and the United Nations World Tourism Organization in years ahead.
The President thanked the World Tourism Organization for granting Nigeria 100 tourism online academy scholarships in recognition of the country's efforts at empowering the youth and boosting quality education in tourism. The Secretary General of the World Tourism Organization, Zurab Polikashvili, described President Buhari's visit as a direct confirmation of how important tourism is to Nigeria and promised WTO's commitment to supporting efforts at boosting the country's culture and tourism potentials.
And we have long-term commitment with Nigeria to develop tourism and to attract more and more tourists in Nigeria. The numbers are very small. It's a shame, I think, that Nigeria has to receive much more tourists to see the beauty and to meet the culture and beauty of Nigerian people, which is most important.
For the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, President Buhari's visit to the headquarters of WTO is not only significant and timely, but also reinforces the mutual respect between Nigeria and the UN organ.
We must not fail to remember that for every 10 jobs in the world, tourism provides one, and that revenue from tourism all over the world is about 2.5 trillion naira today. After agriculture, tourism and the creative industry also employs the largest number of people in Nigeria, especially women and youth. So the fact that the president, came to visit the UNWTO Secretariat shows again the importance Mr. President attaches to tourism and the creative sector.
Nigeria, the minister explained, hopes to leverage the global conference to be hosted at the National Theatre in Lagos to showcase what makes her thick in culture, tourism, music, film, gastronomy, fashion and photography. From Madrid, Kingdom of Spain, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And from Spain, let's come back home. Evangelist Ebi Udeji of African Democratic Congress has formally declared her intention to contest in the 2023 presidential election. The clergywoman says topmost on her agenda is to revamp the country's economy, ensure security, as well as improve the education sector.
Who is patriotic enough, passionate enough, caring enough to carry this nation forward. Nigeria is not my business. Nigeria is my company. I am not here by accident. I am here by divine mandate.
Jagade, however, urged Nigerians to ensure that they give their mandate to someone who has the country at heart and will work for the benefit of the electorate. And following that development, the African Democratic Congress has fixed June 8, 2022 for its national convention and conduct of its presidential primary, scheduled to hold in Abuja, the Ogun State capital. Linda Okorie Igwe reports that the date was announced at a meeting with the 12 presidential aspirants vying for the presidential seat. The atmosphere at the meeting was that of hope and confidence that the party will produce the next president of Nigeria.
In this ADC, some quality minds, public intellectuals, technocrats, and super entrepreneurs, men, women, come together to say they want to build one country. They don't want to go and do it alone in one party, because they want an internal process that by the time they mesh, Nigeria will see a new beginning.
For the national chairman, Raf Nwosu, the party is poised to restore the nation's lost glory and bring development to the electorate. Away from politics, the flag-off of compensation to kickstart the long-awaited land swap initiative of the Federal Capital Territory Administration has commenced, with Gwagwa District as the pilot scheme. Executive Secretary FCDA Shehu Hadi Ahmed reiterates government's determination to work with genuine interested investors towards an accelerated infrastructure development of the FCT. Abdullahi Ajia reports.
The land swap initiative of the FCT administration, which was birthed in 2012, is a comprehensive development agreement with a tripartite benefits for government, investors and the indigenous communities of Abuja. This historic meeting with representatives of concerned parties is the pilot phase of the compensation of economic trees and crops of Gwagwa district communities to enable the investors who have been scrutinized to commence work.
The Honourable Minister has performed the flag off of the land swap program in the FCT. This payment of the compensation had taken some time to get all the profile ready. I thought this is something that the community will take very seriously.
Augment the effort of the government in accelerating development. It is obvious that government can no longer fund the infrastructure through the budgetary means because of paucity of funds, and there are competing demands.
The FCT administration said this will be the beginning of the desired infrastructure growth in partnership with the private sector.
We have 2 checks being presented to each person. One was as agreed with the chief, that's a base value for every indigene that is going to lose his land. Then we have our own valuation, which was done according to what is on ground. That check is also coming differently. This is to make sure that the indigenous people are happy.
We are going to create a new Abuja. It is modeled after cities like Abu Dhabi, Dubai. So I'm satisfied.
Government is optimistic that the program will succeed with other districts in the next plan of execution. Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
All right, let's talk about the ban of Okada in Lagos State, which is part of the measures, by the state government to enforce sanity within the already densely populated metropolis. Now, the 1st of June 2022, which is today, is set as the deadline for the commencement of the ban restriction, the operations of commercial motorcycles. Now, the set date we already said is today. Adeni Taiwo, our correspondent, is standing by at Pogbong on Lagos Island to tell us about the level of compliance. Adeni, what can you tell us at the moment? What's your observation like where you're standing?
Thank you, Ruth. Like you said in your introduction, I'm standing here on Akpogbon Bridge in Lagos, and I'm sure that you are familiar with what Lagos is, and I would like to tell you that it's like, the scenery here is like having a public holiday compared to what we used to have, and this is as a result of the fact that there is full, and willful compliance to the directive by the Lagos State government banning the operations of commercial motorcyclists in Lagos State. In 6 local government areas and 9 LCDAs in Lagos State. Where I'm standing is what you can call a borderline between Lagos mainland and Lagos Island. You see a lot of movement, across the channel from Lagos mainland to Lagos Island. And here is like a hub for motorcyclists who, ferry people across the channel, like I would like to put it. But I have here standing with me, someone who does his business in Lagos, and he can share his experience with us on what he has seen so far about the level of compliance in Lagos State. Prince Edmond, please, can you join me? Good afternoon, Prince Edmond.
Yeah, good afternoon.
All right, the ban that Lagos State government placed on operations of commercial motorcyclists started today in Lagos State. From your movement around, have you seen, what can you say about the level of compliance?
In fact, today is the beginning of the banning of the Okada. I can see that everywhere is just very empty. It's no more much of Okada moving up and down here in Lagos State, and I think it's a very good idea.
Okay, well, when you say it's a very good idea, what do you mean?
What I mean, because most people using Okada are using Okada. Most of them are using it for as their business of to earn their living, while some other also are using it to commit crimes. And the majority of people that is driving Okada, they are not trained. They cannot be able to handle the Okada very well, and causing accidents everywhere in Lagos State.
So you think Lagos State government is right on this?
Yeah, they are right to ban Okada because they are causing a lot of havoc. They can even try to overtake motor, even riding on the express, on the middle of the road, causing accidents. It's good. It's a good idea. It's a welcome idea.
Thank you very much for your time and your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you.
While I was here, thank you very much. While I was here waiting for me to do this, I got in touch with the state PPRO, Mr. Undeyi Benjamin, who confirmed to me that across the 6 local government areas, the compliance is willful and total. So far, there has not been any seizure of motorbikes, and there have not been any arrests so far. Earlier in the day, too, my colleague Abalade Salami was also at Oniru in Etiosa local government area, and he also reported that the level of compliance is very, very high. So that is the situation for now. But I've also interacted with some people who, while applauding the move by the state government, they are also talking about the fact that there has been a hike, a jack-up in the cost of transportation, by commercial buses, and they will want the state government to do something about this. Ruth.
Adeni, well clarified there, but curiosity is one thing I know is still on the minds of some people. We know that Okada is one of the easiest means of transportation, considering the gridlock, that is a norm with Lagos there. But thank you very much for your time. Correspondent there at Denita will giving us update on the ban in Lagos. And we're still staying with Lagos as we join Kende. She's going to give us the next set of reports.
In Lagos. Despite intensified efforts to rid the country of drug abuse, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, still made seizures totaling 3,349.25 kilograms of assorted drugs within the Lagos waterways between January and May 2022. To win the war against drug peddling, the agency is consulting with stakeholders in the maritime industry. Details in this report. The maritime industry is adjudged one of the bedrock of the nation's economy. Just as it stands as a means for legitimate business activity, some unscrupulous individuals also use the channel to peddle our drugs. This has necessitated the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, to involve shipping lines and agencies in its anti-drug abuse awareness campaign. Today, the campaign train is making a stop at the Apapa port.
We are trying to achieve better collaboration with them and also for them to know their customers. We want them to be stakeholders.
Synergize with us, give us information on unscrupulous business transactions that could bring illicit drugs into this country.
Is to let the people know the dangers inherent in drug abuse and trafficking. Because some of them believe it's only business. You heard what the commander said, this is my market. He doesn't even know it is a bad thing.
Jonathan Olalekan is a shipping line agent. Is making a pledge to support the fight against drug abuse in Nigeria and also take this message to other shipping line operators.
And we all know the implications. We are not interested because what will be our benefits if we deal with if we are dealing into drugs? We will not benefit anybody. It will not neither benefit our company as well.
At the end of the consultative forum, a unanimous decision to fight to finish the war against drug abuse was made. As it is said, the effect of drug abuse is in no small measure contributing to insecurity and other forms of vices in the country. Leveraging the advantage of data and technology in sustaining business activities is the focus of this year's marketing conference of the National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria. President of the Institute, Idore Enang, stated this at a parley with newsmen in Lagos. Samuel Johnson reports.
While a number of businesses collapsed during the COVID-19 pandemic, the creative and innovative abilities of some enterprises sustained and distinguished them. Using data and technology to drive business, according to the National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, NIMN, is carefully chosen to encourage small and medium-scale enterprises in order to grow the nation's economy.
We're asking you to be sensitive about the use of data and what data can do for you, the interpretation of data, and how that can be mined using technology, to drive the process. For us, it's very transformational. We want to take away some mental models, some mindsets, and build new habits.
Marketing businesses, they need to do what is being done right now globally. Otherwise, your business will not make work-life habits have changed, consumer behavior has changed. Businesses are pivoting to take advantage of these insights. Marketing is at the heart of how businesses are communicating to their consumers and getting the customers on board.
The chairperson of the conference planning committee explained that the event is open to all members and others who are willing to learn from the array of professionals who will be lead speakers in different sessions at the conference scheduled for 16th of June. In Lagos, Samuel Johnson, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and our other social media handles displayed on your screen for update. Nana in Sokoto has more stories from that zone after this break. Please stay with us.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sokoto.
Sultan Mohammed Saad Abubakar has called on authorities concerned to do the needful in checkmating high rate of drug abuse among Nigerian youth. The Sultan was speaking when he received the new NDLEA commander posted to Sokoto State. Sheikh Muhammad Detti reports.
The state NDLEA boss was at the palace to introduce himself to the Sultan. He acknowledged the Sultan's words of wisdom in the fight against drug abuse in the country. The NDLEA commander attributed the social vices in the country to effects of drug abuse. During the visit, the NDLEA boss formally announced the Sultan as a first-class ambassador of war against drug abuse in Nigeria.
It's funny to tell you that the incident today, the security challenges we are facing today in the state and in the nation as well, is being oiled by drug abuse.
The Sultan appreciated the agency for the courtesy visit and its efforts towards checkmating drug abuse in the society, calling for more.
I want to assure you of our total support and cooperation in the fight against drug abuse across all sectors of our communities in the country. I'd like to also thank the chairman for this honor bestowed on us that we do to our commitment to fight drug abuse in this country.
The Sultan accepted, thanked, and appreciated the agency for appointing him as the first-class ambassador of war against drug abuse in Nigeria. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
Zamfara State Governor Bello Muhammad has tasked the Nigerian military to take the battle to the doorsteps of the bandits for the overall success of the renewed commitment to achieving lasting peace in the state. The governor made the remarks while receiving a team of military officers from the Nigerian War College who visited him at the government house resort. Jamilu Ibrahim has more.
The team of the Army War College of Nigeria is on a study tour to the Operation Hadarin Daji, a military action against terrorists which covers Zamfara, Sokoto and Katsina states. Zamfara State Governor Bello Muhammad, who received members of the team on a courtesy visit at the government house Gusau, stressed the need for the military to be more proactive in dealing with the terrorists for the success of the ongoing efforts towards achieving lasting peace in Zamfara State and the Northwest geopolitical zone at large.
Taking the man who will move into their doorstep. People have been shut out by now. Cannot do that. I don't think this issue of this community.
The governor, who observed that the military is overstretched and in need of modern warfare equipment, advised that some retired military officers be engaged while efforts should be intensified to adequately equip the Nigerian armed forces. Leader of the visiting team reiterated the renewed commitment of the military to ending the prevailing multidimensional security challenges bedeviling the country, expressing optimism that the battle will soon be won. During the visit, the team honored Governor Bello Muhammad with an award of excellence in Gusau. Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Well, that's news for us, but you don't forget you can always follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and our YouTube channel, NTA News Online. You can also follow our Twitter handle, which is at NTA News Now, or our Facebook page, NTA Network News, and our Instagram is NTA Network for updates. Thank you for joining us here in Sokoto. We will continue nationwide with Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you, Nana. All right, let's take you back to the fact story we called at the start of the bulletin, where we told you that the council received the first quarter GDP status from the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning. State House correspondent Jide Onifade will tell us about it now.
As Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed says the report shows that the Nigerian economy has grown by 3.1% in the first quarter of 2022. Compared to a growth of 0.51% in the first quarter of last year.
This growth shows a gradual economic stability from the recession that we witnessed in 2020, and also shows it shows the sixth quarter of positive growth that the Nigerian economy has presented.
The minister explains this further.
Even though there has been growth in some sectors, there are significant contraction in others, but the net effect is a positive growth. We're very mindful of the fact that unless we have most of the sectors growing, especially the growth in the jobs impacting sectors, that this growth that is positive will not be directly felt by the people.
Minister Zainab Ahmed says the ministry briefed the council that inflation is on the rise again, which is given the authority concerned.
The council has decided to set up a special effort to look at the sectors that are not growing and also to look at how we can grow the other sectors better. The council has also decided that the National Food Security Council will very quickly meet to address the issue of food security, food inflation, and also provide a plan and some methods in which we can reduce the cost of food to support improved food prices for the citizens.
In the State House, Jide Onifade, NT News.
We'll make another stop, this time in Ibadan, and Kemi will guide us.
Ruth and welcome to Ibadan. For Nigeria's democracy to be further strengthened, political parties must deepen internal democracy by ensuring transparency in the election of candidates in its primaries. Correspondent Joel Pupola reports that these are the views of stakeholders at the recently concluded APC primaries in Ijebode, Ogun State.
Primary election is the first litmus test aspirants have to undergo, and this could be a daunting task at times, especially amid the hordes of aspirants jostling for the few available positions. The delegates are saddled with the responsibility of deciding the fate of aspirants, which makes their verdict very germane. The primary election of the APC was not devoid of the initial argument, synonymous with internal democracy and the spirit of sportsmanship when the winner is finally announced. The lessons, according to some of the stakeholders, are numerous.
What I will say is that there is no winner. Our party has won, and it's a victory for all of us.
Those that didn't emerge, they should have faith and have trust.
There's always the process of healing, where all aspirants are brought together and made to forget what has happened. And the language usually is no victor, no vanquished. And I'm sure that will be done. And then the party will come. You can be sure that the party will come out much stronger.
The preponderance of aspirants, observers agreed, is the beauty of democracy. The consensus is for every aspirant to rally around the party's candidate to ensure victory in the 2023 general election. In Ijebu-Ode, Joel Ukwola, NTA News.
As part of efforts to ensure a successful census 17 years after the last exercise in Nigeria, the National Population Commission has trained stakeholders across the country in the latest strategies in line with global best practices. Ifeolu Omoshule covered the training program in Ibadan. Her report is here presented.
In a bid to have a demographic data for a sustainable national planning and development of the country, the National Population Commission is putting efforts in place to facilitate a successful 2023 census. To this end, local government controllers, state coordinators, and top officials were trained on strategies the Commission will be adopting in the effective delivery of its mandates.
We are using the latest technology to ensure accuracy even for the census.
Training to expose them as people that will be on the field on how this technology will be used.
Participants at the training expressed readiness to contribute their quota towards the success of the exercise.
We have been properly prepared to ensure that they are qualified for the job and to carry out sensitization programs that will make sure that most of them are aware of the advancements in the census procedure.
It will be recalled that President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the next population and house census to be held in 2023, and preparations are in top gear for the exercise.
And that's it from Ibadan. We'll go on another break and join Salamatu in Kaduna after. Don't go away.
In Kaduna on Nationwide,
Christians in southern Kaduna have come under one umbrella to offer prayers for God's intervention in securing the country from all forms of insecurity. The prayer session, tagged Southern Kaduna Prayer Summit, is an annual interdenominational event organized to pray for the nation in Kaduna State. Lois Apollo reports.
This year's prayer session, like previous ones, is a congregation of different denominations converge on Kafanchan to pray. It was a moment for offering worship and songs of praises to God. Christian leaders in southern Kaduna identified incessant conflicts, lack of proper synergy among traditional institutions and community leaders in the area as major setbacks to the development of southern Kaduna.
If there is any time this nation needs deep prayer from the biggest imams and sheikhs and deep spiritual people that are Christians to bring this nation from the pit and destroy the misunderstandings, it is now.
Anglican Bishop of Kaduna, Reverend Timothy Yahaya, stressed the need for fervent prayers in overcoming challenges bedeviling the society. Special prayers for peace, stability, and peaceful conduct of next year's general elections take center stage. The theme for this year's prayer session, Let the Weak Say I Am Strong, was attended by various churches in southern Kaduna and beyond. Liza Polo, NTA News.
Away from religious matters to security, Nigerian Army personnel are to fall back on experiences and war strategies of veteran soldiers in dealing with emerging security threats. Adopting these strategies will further enrich the personnel and enhance their professionalism. Suleiman Rigachkun reports that Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, in a message to the opening of a seminar for veteran Army personnel, says Nigerian Army will continue to keep tab with sophistication in crimes.
Desirous of leveraging veterans' experience in furtherance of Nigerian Army operations, especially in areas challenged by insecurity, Nigerian Army brought together senior officers to network with retired personnel on how best to handle critical issues of national security.
Nigerian Army is desirous of meeting the expectations of Nigerians, which can only happen if weaknesses in the system are identified and addressed.
Nigerian Army Chief of the Army Staff Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, in a message said, has achieved feats in defeating enemies of peace. He also said the Army will remain open for effective synergy with community leaders and other relevant stakeholders in addressing threats to security of lives and property.
As long as we continue to maintain that communication line and continue to create this forum to interact regularly, we are most likely going to get their support and buy-in, and we'll feel the pulse of what is actually happening within the communities.
The 3-day seminar is expected to produce practical, implementable recommendations for successful execution of the Nigerian Army operations. Suleiman Rigachkun, NTA News.
And that completes our package from Here's Back to Root for the rest of the bulletin.
The Nigerian Union of Pensioners has urged state governors who have not reviewed the monthly pension of their retirees as provided in Section 173 subsection 3 and 210 subsection 3 of the 1999 Constitution as amended to do so immediately. Worried by the plight and unfortunate living condition of members at the state level, the union urged the state governors to work out modalities in order to meet pensioners' demands.
With all sense of respect and responsibility, I call on the state governors as a matter of national emergency to immediately set up committee jointly with our state councils across the country to work out modalities on how state governors will liquidate all the outstanding entitlements that had accrued over the years.
The union commended the Pension Transition and Arrangement Directorate, PTAD, for living up to its responsibilities and addressing challenges confronting pensioners in Nigeria. The Federal Character Commission says its attention has been drawn to the false information circulating around the social media that its commission is recruiting workers using telephone number of the executive chairman and the commission's website. In a statement by the Director of Public Affairs and Communication, Chuks Okoli says the Federal Character Commission is not a recruiting agency. He wants the general public to be wary of those elements going around duping unsuspecting innocent citizens with the name of the executive chairman and the commission's website. Let's talk power. It's been 7 years of dogged steps, adopting the brick-by-brick approach to light up the nation. That is the story of the power sector under the Buhari administration, with investment across the value chain. Joshua Ojito reports on some of the strides as the administration clocks 7.
A long list of policies and executive approvals given in the last 7 years to match words with action. The Power Sector Recovery Program is a special purpose vehicle for the implementation of these policies and programs to ensure financial viability, improve electricity supply, reliability, and strengthen the sector's institutional framework, as well as boost investors' confidence. From north to south, east to west, life-changing stories of power projects that include hydro dams and substations constructed by the Buhari administration, impacting lives and businesses.
When this light came, in fact, the business is moving. Everything is moving on smoothly. We are suffering untold hardship on light, especially people that are having businesses here.
While the administration is sustaining investments to increase generation capacity, investments to upgrade and expand transmission infrastructure are ongoing to improve capacity of the networks to wheel power generated to the distribution companies. Under the Transmission, Rehabilitation and Expansion Program of the federal government, which the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, is implementing, more substations have been constructed, while more mobile transformers have been procured to boost supply and stabilize the grid.
Unless we do that, we will not be able to evacuate the whole electricity that is being generated here. It's a kind of a loop. So the first phase is completed.
There's hope. And there's assurance that with these commissionings ongoing, we shall have better power.
The federal government's Siemens deal, which is being implemented under the Presidential Power Initiative, is another step by the Buhari administration to realign and upgrade the transmission infrastructure and increase power generation and distribution to 25,000 megawatts by the year 2025. While investments to increase capacity of the national grid and stabilize it, federal government says are yielding results. The present administration is also reaching out to underserved and unserved rural communities with off-grid and mini-grid solutions to give them access to electricity supply. The National Mass Metering Program to roll out 6 million meters to electricity customers free by the federal government is another game changer to end estimated billing and address challenge of revenue losses. 7 years of interventions by the federal government to improve electricity supply, with mixed feelings by the customers who say a lot need to be done by the players across the value chain for the investments to translate to longer hours of supply. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Humanitarian crisis is not new to Nigeria, and over time, there has been various interventions from the present administration to fill the vacuum created from humanitarian crisis. In this report, we x-ray federal government's role in consistently meeting the growing demand of humanitarian needs of Nigerians, with the creation of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development as a means to an end. It is estimated that about 7.1 million people are in need of humanitarian assistance in the Northeast region, with a total of 8.1 million people who are internally displaced across the country. A vacuum created as a result of natural disasters and man-made crises. When the National Social Investment Programs (NSIP) was created in 2016, it was expected to be the game changer in lifting millions of Nigerians out of poverty, especially targeting the vulnerable groups. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has coordinated various programs, namely Empower, Conditional Cash Transfer, Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program JEEP, and the National Homegrown School Feeding Program. Beneficiaries from across the country have been empowered under the different programs that is directly impacting their lives. Beneficiaries of the Conditional Cash Transfer received their allowances of 5,000 naira monthly.
The support I'm getting from federal government is really helping my business.
I will trade with the money to bring me some interest, which will help take care of my family.
1,632,480 households are benefiting from the Conditional Cash Transfer Program.
Now I have something to come buy and put in my table, but there was no money. Now I have the 10,000. I'm very, very glad.
The Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, JEEP 2.0, that provides interest-free and collateral-free credit to beneficiaries, has continued to empower beneficiaries under the clusters of trader money, market money, and farmers' money, was improved for effective implementation through training of program managers and master trainers on digitization of JEEP 2.0 processes. Pupils of public primary schools across the country had reasons to keep coming to school with the commencement of the National Homegrown School Feeding Program. With more than 9 million children benefiting from the National Homegrown School Feeding Program, targeting 12 million shortly, the program continues to impact lives. Thousands of young Nigerians have benefited from the Empower scheme, a program designed to create job employment and improve skills of the beneficiaries. Already, 500,000 beneficiaries have been engaged, with an expansion of 1 million target.
I thank God for this program in the sense that I studied agriculture, but I've not been able to participate due to lack of funding. When Empower came on board, I applied and I was given employment without knowing anybody. It was a very transparent platform.
I'm an Empower volunteer under Agro. I've been a victim of joblessness for over 4 years, but Empower came in to put a smile on my face.
To expand the scope and skills was launched to help bridge the gap in the demand for standard and market relevance.
Romeo or Sarah may be among the lucky few that will be selected for the N Skills program. Unlike the Empower, it needs no formal education.
This program aims to improve the quality and relevance of skills delivered using a certification system. The program targets marginalized and disadvantaged population, including those with primary or no formal education at all.
For disaster mitigation, aside various interventions to cushion the effect, a national disaster risk management policy is underway to strengthen Nigeria's resilience to disasters towards effective preparedness and response. However, there is high expectation that policies formulated by the ministry will expand the scope and reach out to more Nigerians, restore hope, and bridge the gap of social inclusion for all. Appreciating sacrifices parents make for the well-being of the children is the essence of the yearly Global Day of Parents. Now, the day observed on the 1st of June honors parents for their undying commitment across the globe. Just as correspondent Calvin Samuel reports that parents are advocating for extra attention to aged parents.
It's are the first set of people who shape the life and well-being of children. However, their hard work and challenges can often be taken for granted, and so the global community set aside World Day of Parents on the 1st of June yearly to change just the narrative.
Celebrate them because they give us good upbringing.
Everything a child becomes is as a result of the foundation that was laid by the parent.
Vital aspect of parenthood, raising responsible children, are actually being neglected by parents today.
While some children realize the importance of parents, there are some who do otherwise, leading to this piece of advice advocating special attention for the aged parent by children irrespective of status.
So that you perform your responsibility to your aged parent.
You have to know the kind of friends your children keep.
you know what the pains are, and chat with them.
With the theme Appreciate All Parents throughout the world, it is hoped that children, irrespective of age or status, will step out of their way to appreciate the sacrifices expressed by parents as contributors to right family and societal values. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
Scores of passengers have been abducted along Birnungwari Road in Kaduna State. 8 vehicles were burnt down by terrorists. Now, the incidents occurred when motorcade conveying passengers from Birnungwari to Kaduna came under heavy attack. Motorists and passengers who narrowly escaped had to run several kilometers from the scene of the attack. Bring you more details in subsequent bulletins. About 2,000 residents of Kasukwa community in Calabar municipality, Cross River State, have benefited from the Nigerian Navy free healthcare delivery services as part of its corporate social responsibility. Achibong Bassi reports that the exercise is part of activities lined up by the Nigerian Navy to celebrate its 66th anniversary.
As part of its corporate social responsibility to the populace and also to strengthen the civil-military relationship, the Nigerian Navy is extending this free medical outreach to about 2,000 residents of Kasukwa community. The flag officer commanding Rear Admiral Ibrahim Dehu, represented by the Command Administrative Officer, says the medical outreach is being carried out in all the commands of the Nigerian Navy.
The Nigerian Navy, as part of its constitutional role, and as the FOC has been directed, we have to ensure the safety of life and properties within the community and also the waterways.
Some of the services rendered are laboratory testing, consultation for various ailments, distribution of mosquito nets to women and children, eye test, and dental care.
It brings a kind of sense of belonging. At least we have this facility in our clan.
Thank the Nigerian Navy who organized for this great medical team.
This is what we expected that we're supposed to achieve from federal government, and we thank God today it's happening here.
Those diagnosed with severe ailments have been offered free consultation at the Nigerian Navy Reference Hospital in Calabar. Achibong Bassi, NTA News.
Next is Sports Update.
Penultimate day actions of the Prudent Energy Handball League saw defending champions Kano Pillars inch closer to become winners of the first phase of the competition, with the trial of Chris Ogedegbe, Diko Ibrahim and Ojo Andrew among the goal scorers in a 28-23 goals victory over safety shooters of Abuja.
Good catch next, Diko, good interchange, brilliant strike.
In other results, Rima beat Conflict Stars 33-29 and Benue Queens lost 23-26 to Seaside Babes. 5 Nigerian female cyclists are set to begin training camp in Abuja Monday ahead of this year's UCI Track Nations Cup, built for July 7 to 10 in Cali, Colombia. The tournament in Cali will aid the cyclists in gathering points for 2024 Paris Olympic qualification.
There is a collaboration with the CAC, Confederation of African Cycling, where a very big group of athletes, male and female, we have this camp in preparation of African Championship.
In golf, members of the legal profession have assured on upholding judicial standards in the country after concluding the 4th Bench and Bar Championship at the High BB International Golf and Country Club, Abuja, where Emmanuel AJ emerged overall champion with 45 points after the Stableford system of scoring was adopted.
All the health professionals tell us we should do less of sitting down. So golf is one of the best ways to avoid ill health as we grow older in our profession.
I'm the champion today. In the next edition, a lot of people will come to play against me. So that means I need to be ahead of them.
Chief Justice of Nigeria Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad was represented by Justice Helen Ogumiju of the Supreme Court. With sports updates, Larry Beleyi, NTA News.
That's nationwide. Thank you for your company. But do remember, without your support, the fight against rape and rapists cannot be won. I'm Ruth Aguela. Bye.